LaFleur had some comments last week about internally in the locker room, people with their roles. Obviously, they extended them. Reports surfaced about, all these players. They got rid of a bunch of guys. With all that said, he did end up getting a contract extension, and he talked about how he plans to change a lot of things this offseason.
I think you're always evaluating and trying to make the decisions that are best for your football team, at least what you believe are going to be best for your football team. That you always look at ways you can improve, and I thought the best way for us to move forward is we gotta strip everything down and start like it's year one all over again.
I don't know, Colin. I mean, the Packers got a lot of moving parts. They don't have a first-round pick because they made this Micah trade, and now they're in transition. You can't be in transition once you do the Micah trade. You're kind of all in, right?
It's real. I think about this all the time. There's so many, like baseball made a complete pivot with rule changes. Stuff that was legal is not legal. College football, the death penalty used to be paying players. Now it's promoted.
Yeah.
The NFL... It's just, have you noticed in recent years, last couple years, GMs are just giving up draft picks to go spend money in free agency. And my take on that is it doesn't help the Packers because it's not an attractive free agent market. And here's why I believe GMs are doing this, John. It's twofold. Number one is owners are more impulsive. They don't want to see draft and develop. They want you to go get that guy from the Ravens, like in Las Vegas. Go get Linderbaum. I want good players. So the owners are running through GMs and coaches faster than ever, and coaches and GMs are on the clock by the first Thanksgiving. People are making judgments. So people are now just giving up. I mean, I love Jaden Wall is a good player. A first and a third, and wasn't there a fifth? I'm like, whoa. It feels like 5 years ago you don't make that move. And so I wonder about now all of a sudden, Caleb's in Chicago with Ben Johnson. Kevin O'Connell, if he gets the quarterback, is going to be great. Detroit's got a great front office. This is not a knock on Green Bay, but cultures change. I think free agency, the Chiefs, look what they spent on a running back. You've got to solve things, even if you're Andy Reid and Spags and Brett Veach. I wonder about the future of Green Bay.
I had a GM tell me recently, he's like, one thing you guys get wrong, and he didn't say it like that, but he was kind of laughing. He said, there's a big difference between the salary cap and the cash spending. And when you look at the cash spending for this upcoming year, it's a lot of Niners, Broncos, Eagles, right? The Bills spend a lot of these big-time owners. That's not really how the Packers operate. So just because the cap is $300 doesn't mean you can't spend $400. And the Chiefs are now spending a lot of money this upcoming season. So you can have, everyone says that there's parity in their salary cap. That is true, but you can manipulate it. Jeffrey Lurie's done this with Howie Roseman for close to a decade now, right? And the Rams are making a living off this. So that's where the Packers getting aggressive. They did that with Micah Parsons, but you can't just stop there. The Rams, they make a trade for Micah Parsons, and they're looking to do something else. Look at this. Right. They trade for Trent McDuffie. How do we get A.J. Brown? It's like, geez. But they have unlimited. The Broncos, they have this huge cash windfall behind them. It's going to be the one thing the Packers have going for them. The Gutekunst, LaFleur, they're well run. Yes. Gutekunst came up, but your margin for error now as the cash gets bigger is much smaller.
Yeah, it's pretty funny to question the Packers right now and talk about issues with roster construction and all that stuff, when at the beginning of last season, everybody had the Packers as the best team. They were elite, they were great, they had a perfect offense and defense, ready to roll. The Micah Parsons trade made sense. Now you've got your closer on defense, blah blah blah. And now we're just sitting here questioning everything they do. It's also really interesting because obviously they got hurt badly by injuries, right? They were banged up. And yet they still should have beaten the Chicago Bears. This isn't a matter of, if only they had this guy or if only their left tackle was better. No, they should have won that game. Absolutely. They should have won that game against the Bears. No question about it. They should have won that game in multiple ways. They should have won even with Malik Willis against the Bears a couple of weeks prior. They lost those games. And now we can say, well, the defense, and Micah, and this and that, and Jordan Love was injured and out of the lineup. Yeah, it's all fair. Absolutely. In the big picture of it all, yeah, for sure. But when we zoom in, we can say, no. This was poor execution. This was a team that was ill-prepared. This was questionable decision-making in some of the most important moments of these games. So you're just left thinking, what do we do with that? And now you combine that with Matt LaFleur's comments. I didn't listen to the whole thing, but he said something like, start like it's year one. Year one for who? Year one for Matt LaFleur? Year one for Jordan Love? I don't get it. Year one for who? If someone can help me out here, maybe the full quote, the full soundbite, is a little clearer, but year one for who? For this version of Jordan Love in Green Bay? So are we saying that maybe 2023 is kind of year one? Because year one with Jordan Love, he wasn't even playing. Year one with Aaron Rodgers is irrelevant. So that's where I'm a little confused. Again, I'm a massive Matt LaFleur fan. I really am. I love Matt LaFleur. I think he's awesome. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great offensive coach. But I am starting to warm up to the idea that he's not the best head coach. And again, I know he's made mistakes offensively. So has Andy Reid. So has Sean McVay. So has Shanahan. They all do. No one's perfect. So again, I just want to plant that flag. I'm genuinely a big fan and supporter of Matt LaFleur, and I've been talking about the Matt LaFleur-Jordan Love coach-quarterback duo. But that's where I'm at with this team right now. I continue to be frustrated. These last couple of years, the way the season has unfolded. And again, I understand some of the injuries, especially losing, oh my gosh, can't think of his name. I love him. I made all those videos about how Jordan Love and him were going to take over the NFL, and then he got injured. The tight end. I did not sleep at all. Cannot think of his name. Whatever his name is, you guys know who he is. I did my whole victory lap after everyone realized how great he and Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur for that matter could be. I said, this is Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce. This is what we're talking about. And then he got injured. And I was just like, come on, man. Come on. Again, that goes a really long way. So they would have been better. They would have been more resilient with Micah and this tight end whose name I can't remember right now. And yet they still should have won certain games that they lost. That's why I don't want to just use injuries as an excuse. Because again, for the bigger picture, it is an excuse. It is a reason why the season unfolded. But when I have a certain level of expectation and believe you can be as great as you can be, I hold you to higher expectations. I hold you to the sense that you should have still won this game. To me, that's where I draw the line. I expect you to be able to find your way through this moment. And also, now that we see how the game unfolded, you should have won this, you were in the driver's seat, or you should have been able to win this game, and you simply did not. You just simply did not. Again, I continue to have that frustration building. And then now we have a coach saying, we're just going to reignite the offense. We've got to start like it's year one. And I'm just sitting here thinking, what the heck does that even mean? And right now? If you started like it was year one, do you beat the Bears? Do you win the division? Do you take down the Lions? What's the story here? Do you find a way to beat the Eagles at home? Is that what starting like it's year one does? So I definitely think there's still growth and maturity needed from Matt LaFleur as a head coach. And I continue to remain really optimistic about the Green Bay Packers because I still have such a core belief in them. But when I consistently see a team, a collection of players, fail to execute in specific moments, when I see them coming up short now year after year, I mean, technically I can give the absolute benefit of the doubt at the end of 2023, but it still did happen. And 2023 is still a massive victory to me in how things unfolded, even against the 49ers. But we are still looking at 2023, 2024, and 2025, and I'm seeing a lot of moments where you should have done this, you should have won, you could have won, you would have won if you just did that. When can we move past these moments? And even in some of the losses, I expect you to still play better. I expect you to be better. So yeah, I'm curious where this all goes with the Packers. I don't think it's all about, well, they're in trouble because of free agency and this and that. That conversation doesn't really add up to me right now at this moment in time. Like I said, especially considering how high quality the Packers were playing last year in the games they were winning. And I really encourage people not to automatically say, well, we got injured on defense and so and so. Tucker Kraft is the man, I got there. Tucker Kraft. All true. All accurate. But if we're being honest with ourselves, there were still plenty of moments where if they had simply played better and executed better, they would have won. And they should have won regardless of who was injured and who was on the field. I think it's so important to acknowledge that. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about the Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur, Jordan Love? What's your feeling about this team right now? It's pretty interesting that, like I said, really early on in the season, they had so much momentum as a top team in the NFL. This is the year they're going to make a Super Bowl run. They had a ton of momentum. Even in the offseason, obviously after the trade for Micah, a ton of momentum. They came up short. And now we're going into this year, it's April, and I don't feel any momentum. I'm not saying they're not going to be good. Not saying they're not going to be competitive. But there's no buzz in the air about them. There's no sense of we just got injured last year, came up short, but we're still a Super Bowl contender this year as long as we're healthy. That's not the conversation being had right now. At least not the conversation I'm observing. So I'm curious Here you guys are all at right now. Let me know your thoughts. I read every single comment. So whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get into some discussions. Let's get into some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. Please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here and I'd absolutely love to see you be part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. Something that we're really excited to be part of. And we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. It really does help with visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.